Hi everyone. Today is Wednesday, May 6th, 2026, and this is your reading for today. So as I shuffle, I'm going to set the intention to bring forth the message that we need to hear in order for us to align with the highest version of ourselves. And I'm going to start by pulling some cards from the Sacred Geometry deck, and we can begin opening the field and allowing through what we need to hear, the process, the guidance. Okay, so we've got Mayan Dream showing up reversed. We've got the Merkaba, and we've got duality. Huh. So you're currently trying to process the good and not so good aspects about something that exists within you, about a behavior, a pattern that exists within you. It could be an emotional pattern, it could be a thought pattern, but something you are noticing, you are trying to make peace with, and trying not to see it from a good versus evil standpoint, but rather a standpoint of, okay, well, this is just what I have picked up as either a protective mechanism or something that was taught to me, something that was given to me, something that's really not even yours to begin with. And you're learning to make peace with it, trying to find solution. What's next? That's what I'm thinking is, what is next for me? How do I move out of this duality, seeing it from good versus bad and into a more unity, um, uh, a consciousness that's not separated, something that brings everything together, understanding that everything you exist within everyone and that everyone exists within you, that we are all connected. So trying to see it from that point of view and not trying to put blame, guilt, or shame on you or on anyone else. And that's a really mature perspective to take right now, considering the fact that you may have been somebody whose behavior or thought pattern was one of blaming others, was looking outside of yourself for the reason why you feel uncomfortable. And now you're learning to turn within and to see that you are the creator of your reality. And while there is definitely huge, there is a huge, messages going on or around nowadays about how spirituality is all high vibes, it's just positivity, optimism. And while it is that, it is also understanding who you truly are. It's truth. And that's where you start. You need to know what is true in order to know what you want moving forward. And so, congratulations on that. Sometimes it's very scary to take a look in the mirror, and to see yourself without judgment and shame. We've been taught these things from the minute we came out of the womb. We've been taught, to look at ourselves, to pick ourselves apart, to measure ourselves against what other people are doing, who they're being, their success, things like that. We have been told who to be by some other people. And so right now, as you do this inner work, you're learning who you are and what you've been taught and how you've been programmed, and now choosing what you want to be instead. And so I am going to pull some tarot cards on this because we can go ahead and dive a little deeper into this message and kind of see, what's going on in this process for you, how we can move forward in a way that is healthy and life-giving. Because sometimes when you take a look in the mirror, you can fall into depression because sometimes you don't know what to do next. We aren't taught these skills, and accessing our intuition is a huge part of finding solutions that are authentic to us and not just borrowing other people's beliefs or other people's way of doing things. All right, so we've got the Queen of Wands reversed. We've got the Four of Swords. So you're definitely wanting to take some space right now. Too much mental activity, too much thinking about it, and not enough silence, not enough taking time to yourself, not enough walks in nature, not enough connecting with what is bigger than you, because you're going to be able to find the answers to the questions you've been asking, especially in relationship to this problem that you've been having. trying to figure out who you should be, or how you should behave, what kind of belief systems you need to create moving forward in relationship to this. But I have a feeling that this is definitely an obsessive thought pattern that you've been having about yourself. Um, the way that you perceive yourself and have always perceived yourself. And you're realizing now how negative and heavy it is, and that you no longer want to sit with it, and it's confusing because you don't know how to transform it right now. And so I'm gonna pull one more card here. We've got the Ten of Wands. So, and like I was said, it's heavy. It feels like a burden because it makes um you are beginning to make decisions, or you are realizing that you have been making decisions from this negative space your whole life. It's like a performance that you've been putting on, um it's not really you. And so now the question you're facing is, um you know who do I who do I want to be now? How do I transform this negative thought pattern into something life-giving? Because sometimes you and logically what to say, but if you've never experienced it or felt it, it's hard to really embody the change. Like, do you just continue saying the same things over and over again until you feel them? Or do you have to act on them first? Act in the discomfort. Um, and I think you will know what to do next. And honestly, I'm going to pull some guidance cards here on bringing forth what's next, like how do we transform this negative thought pattern into something life giving, into something that you can carry into the rest of your life? How do you change your belief system surrounding this belief around yourself? You have grounded yourself in the negative thought pattern through taking action on it, and now it's stuck in your system. Okay, so we've got relax the hold of darkness and be at cause. And this is a great card because it's about process. It's about understanding that there is no end, that there is no there's no such thing as perfect. That's what this card has to do with. It has to do with respecting the process and understanding the process is what life is about. So understanding that changing this thought pattern is about the process, about who you are going to become in the process of choosing something more life-giving. Now let's like I was saying, faith in the process, faith in the process. You should know intuitively what your next practical step should be, and in terms of changing this thought pattern, changing this belief system into something more life-giving. Um, I'm getting bring it into form, so act on it. So for example, if this is a thought pattern that has to do with the way you perceive your body, or the way you perceive just your physical body, and for your whole life you have been so critical of yourself, always nitpicking, I'm not skinny enough, I'm not strong enough, I'm not fast enough or athletic enough, and all these things, you were just never enough. And so now you're realizing that you have made so many decisions, especially surrounding your health, um, especially surrounding, um, how you show up in the presence of others. You've been making all these decisions based on this core belief that you are not enough. And because you believe you are not enough, you have acted in ways that prove to your nervous system that you are not enough. And so and continuing to practice this is what makes this transition so hard for you. And so if we break things down and we think about how belief systems are actually created, it really is thought, feeling, action. It's thinking, what would you rather feel about your body, or whatever it is that whatever it is this negative thought pattern is about. It's about thinking about how you want to feel about your body? Do you want to feel good? Do you want to feel confident? Do you want to feel confident no matter what you look like? Do you just want to feel good in your body? And really, this is about letting go of what other people think about you. You know, that seems to be the core of this reading, is learning how to let go of what people think about you and instead caring only about what you think about yourself and looking deeply into that. Because when you figure out what matters to you as far as your physiological self, as far as this negative pattern goes, this negative thought pattern goes, then you can begin making decisions and taking actions in that direction. So if you are wanting to create a better relationship with your body, do the things that make your body feel good, that make you feel energetic. Feed yourself good food. Take your vitamins, your supplements, drink your water, get good sleep. Do all the basics first, and then decide how you want to sculpt your body if that is what you want to do. But the main goal here is to feel good in your body, because who there are a lot of fit people out there who don't feel good. They just look good. They've sculpted their body, but they're lacking minerals, they're lacking hydration. And so they don't feel good, but they are responding to the response that they get from others. And that's what they're chasing. So, really, the work right now is to just focus on you, focus on the things that make you feel good without blame, without guilt, without worrying about what other people think. This is really just a focus on you becoming the best version of you. So that was just an example as far as the physiological self goes. Whatever this negative thought pattern is, it really is about doing all the things that make you feel good without worrying about what other people think, without holding on to blame, guilt, shame. It's just doing you because it feels good and being okay with that. And that's what's going to align you with the highest version of yourself. So I hope you were able to draw something valuable from today's reading. Have a great day.